Hi there. Later, a bigoted culture war clown gets a comeuppance. First though, the Australian Football League's giving all its players and staff LGBTQ+ training. Comes off the back of homophobic insults being used during games by 3 players and a coach. One got a 6-match suspension for saying the F word that rhymes with maggot up to 10 times. Tanya Hosh oversees inclusion and social policy for the AFL.
It's our responsibility to make sure that this game is safe for everyone, to help people appreciate that the impact of those words is significant. It's not a harmless matter. It does have consequences.
Thanks to ABC Sport. The training will be rolled out to more than 4,000 players and officials. The world's first out gay imam has been remembered at Cape Town Pride. Mohsin Hendricks was shot dead last month, with no arrests up to now. The 50-year-old ran a mosque in South Africa for LGBTQ+ Muslims. This Cape Town Pride marcher tells NT News he was a figure of compassion and support.
He was spreading the word to his own community, to the young people, gay, queer people that wasn't accepted by his family, and he accepted them as a father figure. He was just spreading love.
Mohsin had been repeatedly threatened online and in person over his queer advocacy. And a right-wing culture war clown in Poland's been ordered by a court to apologise for anti-queer hate speech. Kaja Godek equated LGBTQ+ people with, wait for it, paedophiles. Did not see that one coming. And said homosexuality is a perversion. Yes, and that's why it's fun, Kaya. Bigot McBigotface has labelled the ruling a threat to free speech. She's appealing, and yet most unappealing. No time to tell you that. We've seen more than 200,000 people at the Sydney Mardi Gras parade over the weekend. A man's been fined for doing a backflip on top of a police bus there. Hi there. Later, Ghana's going after the gays again. First though, here's what the morally bankrupt, emotionally bereft, right-wing boneheaded bigots want. A transgender teenager begging for his civil rights at Iowa's state capitol.
Today is my 18th birthday. I stand before you fighting for the same basic civil rights that every Iowan deserves by humanely asking you to vote against this bill. It deeply troubles me that after 18 years of living here with my family, attending school, working, this is the focus of our state. Please don't take my rights away simply because you disagree with who I am.
Katie Martin speaking during a vote to end legal protections for trans people. But regardless, Republican Governor Kim Reynolds signed it off anyway. Means discrimination in the likes of employment, education and housing is now fine. A £10.7 million puberty blockers trial's been announced by England's National Health Service. It'll look into the treatment's benefits, as well as investigating other areas of gender care for children. Those taking part with parental consent will be given puberty-suppressing hormones for 2 years. Their physical, social and emotional well-being will be closely monitored. Alex tells Sky News he was treated from his early teens, and it's a lengthy process.
It would normally take people 2 years just to get seen, and that's a significant amount of puberty that's happening, bringing with it a significant amount of dysphoria and therefore distress. I'm up to the point now where I can live my life as a normal person, and being trans doesn't even factor into my life.
A UK-wide ban on puberty blockers outside of clinical trials is due to be reviewed in 2027. And a new push in Ghana to bring in some of Africa's most draconian anti-queer legislation. Gay sex will get you 5 years in prison, plus the willful promotion, sponsorship or support of LGBTQ+ activities would also carry jail time. Attempts to make this law have been delayed by legal challenges and a change of president, but now a bill's been resubmitted to Parliament. No time to tell you that a transgender unity rally in Washington DC's drawn hundreds of people onto the streets. And Switchboard, the LGBTQ+ support service in the UK, turns 51 years old today. Hi there. Later, an ally puts a lot of his money where his mouth is. First though, I'm not saying Disney's selling LGBTQ plus people down the river, but last year it cut a transgender storyline from its series Win or Lose, saying parents should choose when to discuss certain topics with their children. But now a Christian character has been added to the show. We see her praying, and that's absolutely a-okay, shoving their lifestyles down our throats. Let's pause momentarily to remind ourselves of one of the definitions of hypocrisy.
Insincerity by virtue of pretending to have qualities or beliefs you don't really have.
Disney's previously had a lot of flack over its inclusivity from right-wing religious culture war clowns, so maybe it's now just bending over like other US organisations. We think this Christian character's the first in one of their productions for 20 years. A women's domestic abuse charity says trans women and non-binary people can't use its services anymore. Edinburgh Women's Aid had previously been inclusive, but then those culture war cretins piped up. The ban will apply regardless of someone having a gender recognition certificate. And a producer and director behind the likes of Bridesmaids, Ghostbusters and The Office is giving $300,000 to US queer youth organisations. This is Paul Feig's response to the recent rolling back of LGBTQ+ rights there. Says he and his wife can't sit idly by as the community's attacked. The money's going to the Trevor Project, Trans Lifeline, and it gets better. Hi there. Later, a new gay icon is crowned. Sort of. First though, an update on the killing of a transgender man, and just a heads up, there are some awful details. The body of 24-year-old Sam Nordquist was found in a field in New York State last month. It's believed he'd been tortured for weeks in a motel room. Prosecutors now say this involved, amongst other things, making him eat feces and urine, pouring bleach on him, and inserting an object into his bottom. 7 people up on a number of charges, including murder. Kelly Wolford is Ontario County's Assistant District Attorney.
Sam was beaten, assaulted, sexually abused, starved, held captive. And I know many will ask the question, why? Because what human being could do what happened to Sam? We'll never make sense of this case.
Prosecutors also claim 2 children, aged 7 and 12, were forced to take part in the torture. Sam was laid to rest in Minnesota, where he came from, on Tuesday. Meta has been kicked to the curb by San Francisco Pride. It's after the Facebook and Instagram owner changed its rules, so it's just fine to call LGBTQ+ people mentally ill or abnormal on the platforms. The company's been a sponsor of the event previously. Organisers say they're both proud and sad to have ended the relationship. And an app to support LGBTQ+ people with dementia has been launched in Wales. It features the real-life memories of the country's queer community, like their experiences of pride marches, drag acts and nightclubs. The idea is these can act as a prompt for talking points, allowing LGBTQ+ people with dementia and their loved ones to have meaningful conversations. No time to tell you that. News outlet The Standard's decided Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg's a gay icon. I'll have whatever they're on. It's because he wore a spangly jumpsuit. Shut up. Hi there. Later, another win in the fight for gay marriage in Japan. First though, a bit of fun for the end of the week. This has got nearly 2.5 million views on TikTok. A top queer ally at Sydney Mardi Gras. Will, who's straight, turned out for his gay mate, David.
Good to come and support Dave and all the gay people and that. The community all get together and then we all can get on together. A lot of people still, back where I come from, out in the bush, a bit funny about it, but people are starting to realise it's all good now, you know. Thanks
to ABC. Will was also sporting some kinky headgear, because when in Rome, he's been called a national treasure in the comments. Someone else says that's what real masculinity looks like. The Queer Club Night's back this weekend in Georgia for the first time since an anti-LGBTQ+ law came into effect. Organisers of Eau de Cologne in Tbilisi say celebrating each other is vital and they're reclaiming joy as a force of change. Last autumn's law on family values and protection of minors bans same-sex marriage and gender reassignment surgery, plus portrayals of anything queer in the media. And Japan's gay marriage ban has been ruled unconstitutional by a fourth high court there. The ruling in Nagoya comes off the back of similar decisions in Sapporo, Tokyo and Fukuoka. Lawsuits have been filed across the country, with the rulings increasing momentum for the legalisation of same-sex marriage. No time to tell you that. It's the Football v Homophobia Awards later in Glasgow, celebrating queer inclusivity in the game. LGBTQ+ farmers are having a conference tomorrow in Minnesota. And Sunday sees Australia's Day of Women Living with HIV turn 10 years old. I'm Kev McGraw. See you next week.